Did you ever wonder which are the strongest families in One Piece? And if you did, how exactly would you rank them? How high in the list is the Monkey D family? How about the Vinsmoke family? I mean, the Big Mom family is an interesting one. Well, today, we'll explain as well as rank the top 18 strongest families in the world of One Piece. And brace yourselves, because we don't only have the standard families in our list. For example, did you consider in which family Mihawk is a part of? How about Akainu? Blackbeard? Well, just a small hint, we did include these characters in our videos, and we won't only rank their families, but explain in which families they belong as well. Some quick notes before we begin though. We generally want at least 3 strong characters to consider that a family has a good sample of how strong they really are. But in some occasions, when 2 of the family members are so exceptionally strong, we will still consider them. However, they will be judged more harshly since they only have 2 strong members, whereas other families have 3 or more strong members. Now, when it comes to single individuals with no other notable family members, they will unfortunately not be considered. Just a small heads up before we begin, we have 5 insanely controversial rankings in the video. And well, let's just say that which family should be placed higher is at the very least debatable, if not highly controversial. What is not controversial in the slightest, however, is the fact that everyone, including yourself, needs a good night's sleep. Scientific fact, sleep is way more important than most people realize. It regulates your hormones, which in turn helps you lose fat, build muscle easier, be more alert in school and work, perform better in sports. Literally any area of your life, sleep affects it. And well, let's just say that Manta Sleep has changed the game once again with their newest sleep mask. Manta Sound Mask V2 is the most comfortable Bluetooth sleep mask in existence, equipped with ultra-thin Bluetooth speakers designed specifically for comfort for even side sleepers. What I love most about this mask is their 24-hour battery life, something that, by the way, is 3 times longer than leading competitors. Check Manta Sleep by clicking the link in the description down below and use code Akagami to get 10% off for any sleep mask you buy. So, what are you waiting for? Improve your sleep today by buying sleep masks from Manta Sleep. But now, let's get back to our video. Number 18, the Nefertari family. Truth be told, 2 of the members we are considering are not considered as generally the strongest in terms of combat strength, but they do have political influence. The ones we're talking about are Nefertari Vivi and Nefertari Cobra. Vivi was part of the Baroque works and is also technically a Straw Hat as well, but overall, she does not really have any special strengths, especially when we compare her with some of the strongest characters in One Piece. Something similar can be said about Cobra as well, so no combat strength for either of them, but high political influence. Having said that, the main reason we add this family in our list is because of Nefertari D. Lily. Now, it is true that we don't know much about her, but there are some things we do know, and some many fans theorize about her. You see, Nefertari Lily was the queen of the Alabasta Kingdom about 800 years ago during the Void Century. She was one of the original 20 kings who defeated the ancient kingdom and formed the world government. And unlike the other 19 royal families, she refused to move to Merijois and become a celestial dragon. Instead, she returned to Alabasta. Her disappearance, however, is suspicious. Imu reacted strongly to her name, suggesting she may have gone missing instead of simply returning to Alabasta peacefully. Some of the popular theories regarding her now are that she used to possess the Nikyu Nikyu no Mi that Kuma now possesses, and thus used this ability to spread the poneglyphs, hence why Imu considered her an enemy. She could be incredibly strong, or she could be just a political figure with not much combat power. Overall, we do not place this family higher on the list because of the question mark regarding Lily. Number 17, Usopp and Yasopp. Yasopp is one of the most legendary sharpshooters alive, the red-hair pirate sniper, personally recruited by Shanks for his insane marksmanship that's so precise he's said to never miss a shot, no matter the conditions. Even among Yonko crews, Yasopp is feared and respected as a top officer, placing him comfortably at Yonko commander level in skill. Usopp, meanwhile, started as one of the weakest Straw Hats physically, but his growth shows just how strong he's become through sheer courage, cleverness, and tactical sniping. By Dressrosa, Usopp awakened observation hockey under extreme pressure, sniping Sugar from an absurd range and influencing an entire battlefield from hiding, something that foreshadows a future where he might stand shoulder to shoulder with legendary snipers like his father. For the time being, we can't place them much higher, since we need to see just how much stronger they'll get. And at this point, we reach the first controversial selection in our list. Which family do you think is stronger? The Don Quixote family or the Boa family? One of them has as leader Doflamingo, while the other has Boa Hancock. Both of them, however, do not have the strongest supportive fighters to back them up. So here's how we rank them. Number 16, the Don Quixote family. Here, there are only 2 members worth discussing. The first is Don Quixote Rocinante. Rocinante ate the Nagi Nagi no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that made him a soundproofing human. He could create zones of absolute absolute silence, which made him perfect for stealth and covert missions. He was trained, he could handle weapons, and was a Marine commander in disguise. But he wasn't portrayed as a top-tier fighter. He was strong enough to operate undercover in Dofi's ruthless crew without immediately getting killed, which means he had survival skills. But he didn't win battles through brute force, nor was he considered an elite fighter. Then we have to speak about Doflamingo himself. Let's just say that he wasn't just a warlord. He was also so feared that even the world government let him do shady deals to avoid the chaos his secrets could cause if exposed. Even though, yeah, this was partially due to his knowledge of Celestial Dragon's secrets, and not so much his strength. He's a confirmed user of Observation Haki, Armament Haki, and Conqueror's Haki. His Conquerors is strong enough to clash with Luffy's and knock out weaklings instantly. He also not only ate the Ito Ito no Mi, he also awakened it. Overall, a powerful family, but since we only have 2 members and one of them isn't even special, we rank them rather low in our list. Number 15, the Boa family, also known as the Gorgon sisters. These are Boa Marigold, the youngest sister and the one who ate the Hebi Hebi no Mi model King Cobra. She had access to both armament and observation haki, but other than that, nothing extremely special. Something similar is the middle sister, Boa Sandersonia. She ate the Hebi Hebi no Mi model Anaconda, and she also had access to both armament and observation haki, but again, nothing super special. The real reason this family is even in the list is because of Boa Hancock. She had access to all 3 forms of haki, and most importantly, her devil fruit, the Miro Miro no Mi. When combined with her beauty as a woman, man, she becomes an incredibly formidable opponent. It can turn people to stone if they feel lust or love for her, which is nearly everyone, or if they feel any form of attraction, desire, or even pure admiration. She can petrify whole fleets if they're not mentally armored. Something like that happened in her fight against the Blackbeard pirates, where she petrified the entire squad in an instant, with the only one making it out unharmed being Blackbeard. Plus, she combines all these with devastating martial arts. Her kicks alone can shatter stone easily, and even pacifistas, which is a feat comparable to high-level warlords. Not to mention, this kick against Douglas Bullet. She's a top-tier warlord level, easily above most vice admirals and many supernovas, but likely below top Yonko commanders or admirals in a pure head-on clash. Though, if they underestimate her or drop their guard, they're statues. Number 14, the Kuma family. Here we'll again speak about 2 members, Kuma and Bonnie. And yeah, before anyone comes at me, I know that Kuma is not a blood relative to Bonnie, but rather her adoptive father. But still, I would argue it still counts for the purpose of this video. For Kuma, this guy wasn't just a warlord. Let me tell you, his race was probably the rarest we've seen so far in the world of One Piece. You see, Buccaneers are a nearly extinct special hybrid race of humanoids said to have the blood of giants. His devil fruit, the Nikyu Nikyu no Mi, is one of the most broken paramecia devil fruits we've seen. It gives him paw pads on his hands that can, among other things, repel anything he touches. Whether this is physical objects, air, pain, fatigue, even abstract concepts like memories. They allow the user to attack in a variety of ways. For example, by pushing air at light speed, or launch compressed air attacks that explode on impact. And of course, Kuma can also teleport people, or maybe even objects too. After all, he was the one who sent the entire Straw Hat crew to different islands instantly with a single touch. Not only that, but let me tell you that Kuma has some of the highest durability, willpower, and strength in the entire One Piece anime. Remember how he traveled through literally half the world when he sensed that Bonnie was in danger? He was nothing more than scraps by the time he reached Saturn, and yet that punch was as epic as it gets. Now, when it comes to Bonnie, with her devil fruit, she can not only change her own age and the age of others by touching them, basically rendering them unable to fight by turning them either into babies or very old people, but in recent manga chapters, she was even seen using Luffy's Gear 5 transformation, which, let's just say, is no joke. And here we reach the second controversial selection in our list. Which family do you think is stronger? The Vinsmoke family or the Shimotsuki family? One of them focuses on biological modifications, while the other on raw swordsmanship and harsh training. Well, here's how we rank them. Number 13, the Vinsmoke family. You see, this family is all about genetically modifying their members and turning their children into superhuman soldiers. The father, Judge, is strong for a normal human. Huge, armored, armed with advanced tech and a spear that channels electricity. But in pure combat, he's below his own enhanced sons. The true combat power lies in the siblings. Reiju, the eldest sister nicknamed Poison Pink, can secrete and absorb poison and fight agilely with her raid suit, making her dangerous but not quite at the top Yonko commander level. Ichiji, the eldest brother, focuses on explosive laser-like attacks with his raid suit that can melt or blast through solid defenses. He's powerful enough to fight high-level fighters, but ultimately outclassed by monsters like Katakuri or Queen. Niji is all about speed and electrical attacks. He can blitz opponents and shock them into submission, but he too falls short of the real top tiers. Yanji, the youngest, is the brute force of the siblings. His raid suit grants him crushing strength and mechanical enhancements, including extendable limbs for grappling, but he's the least refined in pure combat skill. Collectively, the Vinsmoke siblings are all enhanced with exoskeletons that grant them bulletproof skin, high durability, and near regeneration, putting them far above normal humans and most foot soldiers. They're strong enough to handle armies, command Germa's clone soldiers, and clash with Yonko commanders for brief moments, but individually, they aren't beating top Straw Hats, commanders, or admirals head-on. The Black Sheep, Sanji, rejected Judge's cruel modifications, but ironically grew stronger than all of them, especially after unlocking his latent Vinsmoke enhancements and combining them with his own willpower and hockey, exceptional speed, incredible kicks coated with fire, and lately, even seemingly awakening abilities like healing, tougher skin that, well, they do seem like Lunarian traits, to be honest. No wonder Zoro hates Sanji. Those who get it, get it. Number 12, the Shimotsuki family. Alright, so hear this. The Shimotsuki family is one of the strongest and most historically significant bloodlines in One Piece, especially when it comes to swordsmanship. They originate from Wano and are famed for producing some of the greatest swordsmen ever known. The legendary Shimotsuki Ryuma, the sword god, is their most famous ancestor. A samurai so powerful, he slayed a dragon in Wano's folklore, and whose corpse, when reanimated as a zombie, still wielded immense skill, strong enough to push pre-time skip Zoro to his limits. The modern embodiment of their strength is Roronoa Zoro, who is heavily implied to be a descendant of the Shimotsuki line through his connection to Shimotsuki Kozaburo, the swordsmith who left Wano 50 years ago, founded Shimotsuki Village in East Blue, and forged Enma and Wado Ichimonji. While not officially confirmed in every detail, it's clear Zoro inherited their will and swordsmanship talent. The family's strength lies in their unmatched mastery of the blade, strong swordsmanship spirit, and potential for advanced hockey, especially armament and observation, with Zoro and Ryuma also being confirmed to possess immense Conqueror's hockey level presence as well. With Zoro having the potential to become the strongest swordsman in the world, and Ryuma already being a legend for his swordsmanship skills, this family is rightfully considered legendary. Number 11, Gaban's family. The characters we consider here are Gaban, Ripley, and their child, Colin. Scoper Gaban was a core member of the Roger Pirates, and widely regarded as Goldie Roger's left-hand man, alongside Silver's Rayleigh as the right-hand man, which alone places him at an incredibly high tier, given that the Roger Pirates were the strongest crew of their era. While Gaban hasn't shown his abilities directly in the manga, at least not the full extent of them, especially while in his prime, Oda and databook hints describe him as a top-tier fighter, an axe user, and an explorer with great battle prowess and hockey. He was also the one who introduced the advanced form of hockey capable of killing the seemingly immortal God's Knights. Ripley, now well, as a giant, she's got immense physical strength. She's also a trained fighter, being part of Elbaf's last generation of warriors. Then we have their kid, Colin. Well, let's just say he's got some huge potential. Giant's blood alongside with Gaban's DNA. This kid will probably grow up to be a monster. Number 10, Akainu and Fujitora. Okay, here we should first explain why we're putting the two of them together. After all, they're not confirmed family, but hear me out. I strongly believe that Akainu and Fujitora are actually siblings. You see, Akainu features this very characteristic tattoo that hints he maybe originated from Wano, as Ashura Doji also features a very similar tattoo as well. And not only that, tattoos like that are common in Wano. Now, Fujitora dresses in a very traditional Japanese style, with yukata and full Japanese attire. Something that, again, kinda connects us to Wano, as this country is basically modeled after ancient Japan. Add into the fact that these two seem to be talking very informally to one another, something they don't do with other Marines, clearly hints they know each other from before. And of course, their appearance does resemble each other a lot as well. So assuming they are siblings, this would mean their family is actually one of the strongest in the world of One Piece. No need to talk a lot about either of them, as their ranks in the Marines speak volumes. One of them is the Fleet Admiral, while the other is an admiral that can casually summon friggin' asteroids when he wants to. Number 9, the Kozuki family. The Kozuki family is one of the strongest and most influential clans in One Piece, holding legendary status in Wano's history and the world's hidden history alike. Their true strength has always been a combination of exceptional swordsmanship, iron will, and the unique inherited duty of reading and carving poneglyphs, which directly ties them to the Void Century. The standout figure is Kozuki Oden, who is one of the strongest samurai in the entire history of One Piece. He sailed with Whitebeard and Goldie Roger, wielded Enma and Ame no Habakiri, and could clash with monsters like Kaido in his prime. Oden was so strong that Kaido admitted he would have lost if not for a dirty trick. Oden's raw physical power, swordsmanship, and mastery of advanced armament and Conqueror's Haki made him a once-in-a-generation monster, on par with top Yonko commanders, or even higher. As for the modern generation, Kozuki Momonosuke, his son, started as weak, but has inherited Oden's will, and now wields a mythical Zoan dragon fruit, a perfect replica of Kaido's, giving him massive potential for future strength, even if he's still learning to control it. Number 8, Kaido and Yamato. Kaido and Yamato together represent one of the single strongest bloodlines in One Piece, embodying sheer monstrous might, mythical Zoan durability, and raw willpower that few can match. Kaido himself is infamous as, quote-unquote, the strongest creature in the world, a title that isn't just hype. He's literally a walking natural disaster, with a mythical Zoan dragon fruit that gives him near unkillable durability, massive destructive power, and the ability to fly and unleash elemental attacks like flame breath and lightning. On top of that, Kaido has master-level armament, observation, and Conqueror's Haki, including advanced Conqueror's Infusion that lets him clash with the likes of Big Mom and Luffy and split the sky in half. He tanked countless execution attempts, jumped off Sky Island for fun, and still survived. In combat, he shrugs off attacks that would kill anyone else, and only falls when utterly overwhelmed by multiple top-tier opponents hammering on him relentlessly. Then there's Yamato, Kaido's child, who inherited both Kaido's monstrous genetics and his rebellious spirit. Yamato's strength is already Yonko commander level at minimum, wielding the mythical Zoan Inu Inu no Mi, Mado Okuchi no Makami, which grants massive physical boosts, ice-based attacks, and enhanced durability. Yamato uses advanced armament and Conqueror's Haki, even clashing directly with Kaido for a prolonged fight, which cements Yamato as one of the very few characters capable of standing toe-to-toe with a Yonko, even briefly. For the third controversial ranking of today's video, who should be placed higher? Mihawk's family or Loki's? Well, here's how we rank them. Number 7, Rayleigh, Shaki, and Mihawk. Here we've got yet another theory. We know that Rayleigh and Shaki are married, but for them to not have a child seems a bit odd, doesn't it? So what if I told you that they do have a child, and this child is none other than Mihawk? First of all, the timeline that Shaki left Amazon Lily and Mihawk's age matches. Well, I did find something extremely small that I bet you never noticed before. See this shirt that Rayleigh used to wear? It does feature the same patterns as Mihawk's shirt as well. Not only that, but how and why would Shanks be such good friends with Mihawk? Well, exactly because Mihawk is the son of his former vice captain. This is actually a very possible theory in the One Piece community that I also believe in, so I'll assume it's true for the purposes of this video. Rayleigh was Goldie Roger's right hand and is confirmed to be a monstrous all-rounder. In his prime, he was easily Yonko commander level or higher, arguably closer to Yonko level, considering he could fight Kizaru evenly in his old age and retire on his own terms. Rayleigh's mastery of all 3 Haki types, including advanced Conqueror's Infusion, makes him one of the best Haki users ever shown. Shaki, his partner, is semi-retired now, but is heavily implied to have been a notorious pirate in her youth, a former pirate captain chased by Garp, meaning she had to be extremely strong, cunning, and probably a Haki user herself. Some theories even claim she used to be part of the Rocks Pirates as well. Mihawk now is the world's greatest swordsman. His swordsmanship is so refined that he's basically the benchmark for Zoro's entire dream. Mihawk's raw sword skill plus master-level armament and observation Haki make him arguably Yonko level. Number 6. Loki's family. Here we are basically considering Loki, Hajrudin, and King Harald. Prince Loki is hyped as one of the strongest characters in the entire world. A prince of the warrior giants that are monsters as is. Consider this guy dangerous enough to destroy all of Elbaf on his own. So yeah, this should tell you just how strong he really is. Hajrudin, who we've seen fight before, is a prime example of how fearsome Elbaf's warriors are in action. As a descendant of the same fighting tradition as Dori and Bragi, he has immense raw strength and durability, enough to crush entire ships or massive foes with a single punch. Then there's King Harald, who, if we go with Norse history and inspiration, means he's among the strongest warriors of Elbaf as well. Giants in general are physically on par with low to mid-level Yonko commanders simply by nature. But when you add leadership, battle experience, and Elbaf's warrior code, top giants like Loki or a king-level figure like Harald would scale close to legendary pirate captains in brute force. Add in monstrous hockey that Loki is confirmed to possess. And yeah, this family is among the strongest in the entire world of One Piece. For the next controversial ranking, how should we have ranked this? Big Mom or Ace and Roger higher? Well, given that Ace and Roger are only two combatants, while the Big Mom family is literally an entire army, here's how we're gonna rank them. Number 5, Roger and Ace. Roger and Ace together as a father-son line represent one of the strongest legacies in One Piece. Goldie Roger was at the absolute peak of the pirate world, an unstoppable monster whose raw hockey mastery made him one of the few people ever confirmed to clash equally with Whitebeard in his prime. And let's be honest, Roger was even stronger, and all of that without a devil fruit. Roger wielded all three forms of hockey to their highest degree, including advanced conquerors that could split the sky. And despite having no known devil fruit, he carved a path to the final island purely through swordsmanship, brute strength, and the kind of unbreakable spirit that terrified the world government enough to erase his real name. Then you have Ace with his own legacy as the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. Ace's Mira Mira no Mi gave him immense destructive power, letting him unleash massive flame attacks, incinerate fleets, and hold his own against monstrous New World threats. He was strong enough to defeat veteran captains, clash evenly with Jinbei for days, and earn Whitebeard's direct trust as an errand spirit. While Ace never fully mastered hockey to Roger's level, and his youth and recklessness left him vulnerable to top-tier monsters like Akainu, his potential was sky high, and even Sengoku and Garp acknowledged that. Had he lived, he might have inherited the Pirate King's will in his own way. The reason this duo isn't placed any higher is because they're not just two members, but also because Ace didn't really reach his true potential and rather died as a rookie that scaled significantly lower than Admirals or Yonkos. And that's exactly why we place this family lower than our next pick. Number 5. The Big Mom family. The Big Mom family is probably the single biggest concentration of insanely strong fighters collected in one big family that are all biologically connected and not just a metaphorical family. A massive clan of dozens of children and trusted officers, all born from Charlotte Linland's monstrous genes. At the center is Big Mom herself, one of the Yonko, and a physical anomaly whose raw strength, durability, and monstrous soul-based devil fruit make her an unstoppable force in close quarters. She's naturally invincible to most conventional attacks thanks to her near impenetrable skin and her control of the Soru Soru no Mi, which lets her rip out souls and animate them into homies like Prometheus, Zeus, and Napoleon, giving her weather control and living weapons at her side. Then you've got her children, many of whom are individually powerful enough to be New World captains or even commander-level threats in their own right. Katakuri is the clear peak of the family's next generation, the strongest Sweet Commander. He's an observation hockey master, to the point that he can see glimpses of the future, and someone who can match Luffy's Gear 4 in raw power and outclass him in most areas, forcing Luffy to use Snake Man and give his everything in order to prevail. Smoothie and Cracker follow as Sweet Commanders too, both strong enough to hold territory and push supernova-level threats. Cracker's Biscuit Army could stall Gear 4 for hours, while Smoothie's ability to ring and slice opponents, plus her gigantic size, makes her a nightmare on the battlefield. Beneath them are dozens of other siblings like Perospero, Oven, and Daifuku, each dangerous with unique devil fruits or sheer brute strength. Collectively, the Big Mom family is so numerous and well organized that they operate like an empire. Any sibling alone might be mid to high New World captain level, but the real threat is their massive numbers. Overall, if it wasn't for some other folks, we might even place this family higher in our list. Number 3, the Figarland family. This includes Garling, Shamrock, and Shanks. Saint Figarland Garling is one of the 5 elders who publicly head the world government, holding the title Warrior God of Science and Defense. He has been the supreme commander of the Gods Knights for decades prior to his promotion to elder, meaning that Garling also possesses this mysterious form of immortality all God Knights possess. Even though we've not seen him go all out yet, and even more than that during his prime, we can be more than sure that this guy is among the strongest characters in the world of One Piece. Then we have Shamrock, a character seemingly even more powerful than Loki. He has the ability to use magic circles as a means of transport, having been transported to Elbaf by one alongside Gonko. Since he's a God's Knight, he also has this immortality we previously mentioned. Plus, as you would expect from Shanks' brother, Shamrock possesses powerful haki. His arrival on Elbaf was accompanied by a massive burst of haki which resembled black lightning. His haki was sensed by Scoper Gaban and described as being very abnormal. He also possesses a saber which has acquired the power of an awakened mythical Zoan-type Cerberus devil fruit. The blade can turn into a 3-headed dog on command, which in turn have blades coming from their mouths. Even Loki, who was noted among the giants for his incredible strength, was fearful of getting stabbed by those blades. And finally, we've got Shanks that, well, not many things need to be said about him. He's easily among the strongest characters in the series, one of the 4 Yonkos, and is theorized to have the strongest haki in the series, and of course, is the inspiration to Luffy on what a true pirate should be. And now, we reach the final controversial ranking of our video. Who do you think is the stronger family? The Rocks family or the Monkey family? Well, even though highly debatable, since we don't know all that much about either family yet, at least for some of their members that is, here is how we would rank this. Number 2, the Rocks family. Here we assume this family has 3 members, even though not fully confirmed at the time of this video being recorded. Rox D. Shebeck, Marshall D. Teach, and Buggy. The reason for that is that during recent manga chapters, we finally see the figure of Rox. And well, let's just say the resemblance with both Blackbeard and Buggy is too much to ignore. You see, Buggy has been theorized for a while to be Shebeck's son, as during the God Valley incident, Rox was present as well, and it made sense that Roger took both Shanks and Buggy while they were babies. Shanks has already been confirmed to be the son of a celestial dragon, while Buggy must have been someone of high importance as well in order to be taken in by Roger. Plus, the one detail that kinda convinced me fully is this. Oda chose to reveal Rox's figure during the Elbaf arc, where we explore the family dynamics of Loki and his brother Hajrudin. 2 siblings, same father, but different mother. I strongly believe the reason Oda introduced this dynamic now was to prepare the ground for something similar to happen with the Rocks family. Buggy and Blackbeard might be brothers, sharing the same father. Rocks and 2 different mothers. Now, how strong is this family really? Well, you see, Rox D. Shebeck was an absolute beast, said to be Roger's main rival, and believed to be even stronger than him. In his prime, he was so powerful that the world government had to cover up his existence because he threatened the entire balance of power. He commanded a crew that included Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, and Shiki, meaning he held together a ticking time bomb of future emperors by sheer strength. While we never saw his abilities directly, he's implied to have been a top-tier haki user with terrifying physical and leadership power, placing him at or even above Roger's level at the peak of the pirate era. Blackbeard, meanwhile, is the closest thing the world has seen to a modern Rox. He's the only known person to wield 2 devil fruits, the Yami Yami no Mi, which can cancel other devil fruits and manipulate gravity like darkness, and the Gura Gura no Mi, which gives him Whitebeard's quake powers capable of destroying islands. The full extent of Blackbeard's powers have not yet been seen, as whenever Blackbeard loses a fight, somehow he turns the tide of battle off screen, which strongly hints that Blackbeard possesses some kind of special power, hence why he was also able to injure Shanks, and all that before even acquiring any devil fruits. Then there's Buggy, the greatest irony in this chain, the weakest by sheer combat standards, but a master of survival, bluffing, and opportunism that somehow keeps him alive in a world that eats cowards alive. Buggy's Bara Bara no Mi makes him immune to slashes and grants him tricky comedic resilience, but his real power is probably plot armor. He was on Roger's crew, survived Marineford, built a mercenary empire, and accidentally became a Yonko by riding other people's chaos. And number 1, the Monkey D family. This includes Garp, Dragon, and Luffy. The Monkey D family is one of the purest embodiments of inherited will and unstoppable force in One Piece, tying together 3 generations of characters who each, in their own way, stand among the strongest or most dangerous people alive. The first in line is Monkey D. Garp, the hero of the Marines, a living legend who, in his prime, fought side by side with Gold D. Roger to take down Rox D. Shebeck. Garp has no devil fruit, and all of his monster monstrous strength comes from raw physical power and master-level haki, especially armament so advanced he could crush mountains and punch through giants and ships alike with his bare fists. Even in old age, Garp can still split the sky with his attacks and fight Yonko commanders like Kuzan nearly evenly, showing that his spirit and brute force haven't faded at all. Then there's Monkey D. Dragon, Garp's son and Luffy's father, the world's most wanted man and the leader of the Revolutionary Army. While Oda hasn't shown Dragon's full power yet, his status alone implies he's a top-tier fighter. He commands the world's largest force directly opposing the world government and stands as the greatest threat to their stability. Dragon is implied to have a powerful devil fruit, possibly weather-related given the storms that follow him, and his haki is almost certainly elite. Even without feats on screen, it's fair to assume he is, in the very least, Yonko level. And then there's Monkey D. Luffy, who carries both their spirits forward in a way that's reshaping the entire pirate era. Luffy, through sheer willpower and natural talent, has grown from a reckless rookie into a Yonko, awakening his mythical Zoan Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, the very sun god the world government feared for centuries. He now wields all three forms of advanced haki, can split the sky with conquerors, bend reality with his awakened devil fruit, and has the charisma to unite entire nations and former enemies under his flag. The reason we placed this family higher than the Rocks is basically buggy. Luffy's comparable to Blackbeard, Garp's probably comparable to Shebek. I mean, yeah, he's probably weaker, but still around the same level, we'd say. And then there's Dragon versus Buggy, which I think we all know isn't even a comparison. Thus, why we place the Monkey D family at the top of the strongest families in the world of One Piece. Click on this video next, where I'm explaining whether the current Straw Hats could actually save Ace during Marineford. Go on, check it out!